Now it's time to be off to the bank. Whether we were paid via cash or check, we've already accounted for all of that in Peachtree. Now we just need to put anything that we have together to make a single deposit. You could go to the Tasks menu to do this, or you can also use the center. I'm on the Customer and Sales Center, so I'm going to move to the bottom right corner, or at least the bottom, and I'm going to go to Bank Deposits, and I'm going to choose a new bank deposit. This opens the Select for Deposit window, and actually this is probably going to be one of the easiest things that you get to do. You'll see at the top that it already has your checking account selected. Of course, if you're going to make a deposit to a different account, you would want to select that account. You also have the deposit ticket date. Now this is also important because you could have been collecting deposits maybe over the course of a week, and you need to make sure that your deposit ticket date is the date you're actually going to go to the bank. The next thing that's going to happen is Peachtree is going to create for you a deposit ticket ID. Now this is something that again can work a little bit differently than what you're used to. You can have one payment that you're going to deposit or multiple payments. But when you collect multiple payments to create one deposit, that's where the deposit ticket ID becomes important. Imagine for a second that you had 5 different checks that you'd received. Each of those has its own receipt, and that's fine. But when you need to reconcile your bank account, you're not going to be able to see that 5 different things made up the large deposit. You're just going to see the total amount. And that's what the deposit ticket ID does for you. So we're going to let it go ahead and start with deposit ticket ID number 1. We currently only have one payment to process. We'll move over to the right-hand side and we'll go ahead and put a check mark under the deposit column for anything that we want to deposit. After those are selected, I suggest that you look at the bottom and make sure that your cash, your total checks, and any other types of deposits come out to be the total amount that you're expecting to deposit. That's all there is to it. Then you can simply move up to the top toolbar, and I'm going to show you how to print out a copy. Now, some people actually have a separate deposit book, and if you do, then you're welcome to use it. Here's just a little hint that has nothing to do with software. But if you're a small business, but you have the Carbon business deposit slips, don't let them give you a paper receipt that you then have to keep somehow. I used to staple those receipts to the back and it was just messy. You can actually have the bank stamp during the time of deposit that it was received, the date and time, and all that other stuff that usually you get on a little piece of paper. Then all you have to do is keep your deposit book without all the extra pieces. What we want to do is also show you that there is an opportunity to create deposit slips right from Peachtree. I'm going to go to Print, and I'm going to do a print preview. And of course you can print more than one copy if you need to keep hard copies for some reason. We'll go ahead and just do a print preview. And you'll see that it creates a not too interesting form. Remember, the purpose of this is that it would be printed on a pre-printed deposit slip. But if we zoom in on a little bit, you can see that it's saying we have a total of one item, and it totals $1,416.50. It gives us the date, it gives us the total, and then at the bottom it does give us an itemization of all of the items that are going into that deposit. So if you want to go ahead and invest in something like that, you can get these off of the internet or through Peachtree, or you can just use the software as your mechanism for recording that you made the deposit, but use a good old standard deposit book. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, save our deposit, and close out of the Select for Deposit window.